Have you noticed how our society is obsessed with the new, recent technologies, modern methods, constant updates, as if traditional were synonymous with outdated? But let us be honest, some things should never have been updated. There are certain classics that, when reinvented, lose their essence, their power, their elegance. And this is a serious problem for men seeking genuine distinction. While major brands try to convince you that you need version 2.0 of everything, truly elegant men know that certain classic elements are irreplaceable. They establish a presence that no novelty can replicate. This is why powerful executives, influential leaders, and men of true success frequently return to the traditional. Do you want to be treated like an ordinary man, or like someone who commands instant respect when entering any environment? The answer lies in understanding what should never have been modified. And it is no coincidence that the most successful men in the world share this understanding. Look at the 300 richest men on the planet. How many of them are wearing shirts with extravagant prints and colorful sneakers in their important meetings? Practically none. They know the value of classics. Let us examine the 5 classics that are unquestionably superior in their original versions. This is not merely about aesthetic preference. These are strategic tools for men who understand the power of image. 1. The traditional custom-made suit. The first item on our list is the traditional custom-made suit. The fashion industry constantly tries to reinvent the male suit with modern cuts, innovative fabrics, and disruptive designs. But compare any of these attempts with a handmade classic Italian or British suit, and the difference is indisputable. Ralph Lauren, one of the biggest names in menswear, built an empire based on returning to the fundamentals of traditional tailoring. He understood what many modern men forget. The shoulder structure, the proportionate lapel, and the precise cut of a traditional suit have been perfected over centuries for a reason. They create a silhouette that projects authority. Think about the visual impact of a man in a perfectly fitted suit. The slightly extended shoulder line creates a dominant physical presence. The cut at the waist that accentuates the torso conveys vitality and control. The impeccable drape of the trousers demonstrates meticulous attention to detail. Each element has been refined for generations for a specific purpose. When Brad Pitt appeared at the Oscars in a classic suit instead of following some passing trend, the press talked about nothing else. Why? Because he looked like a real man, not a boy trying to get attention. The same happened when the Apple CEO presented himself for an important launch wearing a traditional suit instead of the typical Silicon Valley casual attire. The impact was instantaneous and calculated. A traditional custom-made suit is not just a piece of clothing. It is armor. It elongates the torso, strengthens the shoulders, and creates a presence that no modernized version can replicate. This is why world leaders and CEOs of billion-dollar companies continue to choose classic suits in their traditional versions. The artisanal construction of a traditional suit involves more than 70 hours of manual work. Each stitch is sewn with precision to create a structure that moves with the body like a second skin. The interlining is hand-stitched, not glued as in modern mass-produced versions. The pockets are reinforced to maintain their shape for decades, not months. Think about the great moments in history, treaty signings, presidential meetings, negotiations, that changed the world. What were the men present wearing? Traditional suits. This is not a coincidence. And here is the truth that fast fashion brands do not want you to know. A single well-made traditional suit has more value and creates more impact than 10 modern suits of inferior quality. The choice is yours: to look like everyone else, or to establish a standard impossible to ignore. Remember, when your appearance is respected, your words are heard with greater attention. In a world where everyone has something to say, being heard is a crucial differential. And the traditional suit is your first weapon in this battle for attention and respect. And this brings us to the next item on our list, another symbol of distinction that bravely resists attempts at modernization. Ulu, the traditional mechanical watch. In the era of smartwatches, where everyone has the same rectangle on their wrist displaying notifications, the traditional mechanical watch remains an unparalleled symbol of sophistication and personal mastery. Consider this: when Elon Musk presents himself for crucial meetings with billionaire investors, he is not wearing an Apple Watch. The global elite understands that a traditional watch communicates a level of refinement that no digital technology can convey. A successful businessman once told me, "When I negotiate with someone who wears a quality mechanical watch, I know I'm dealing with a person who values precision, long-term planning, and attention to detail. It is a more reliable indicator than any resume." Traditional mechanical watches incorporate centuries of meticulous craftsmanship and precision engineering. Each piece, each movement, represents the pinnacle of human excellence. A quality caliber contains more than 300 individual parts, all working in perfect harmony, some smaller than a grain of sand. This mechanical complexity represents the triumph of human ingenuity. While a smartwatch will be obsolete in 2 years, a traditional Patek Philippe will be passed down for generations, increasing in value with each transfer. Think about the power of that message. You are not acquiring a device. You are initiating a legacy. The soft and rhythmic sound of a high-quality mechanical escapement is the sound of success. It is the subtle murmur that separates ordinary men from extraordinary ones. This is why great business leaders and historical figures chose these precise instruments. The psychology behind the traditional watch is fascinating. When a man looks at his smartwatch, he is checking if there are pending notifications. He is reacting to the external world. When a man looks at his mechanical watch, he is checking the time. He is controlling his agenda and his destiny. When you look at a traditional watch, you are not just checking the time. You are connecting with a lineage of exceptional men who came before you. You are declaring that you value quality above novelty, and that your time is too valuable to be measured by something disposable. And while everyone around you is constantly agitated by notifications on their wrists, you project the calm and confidence of a man who controls his time, not the other way around. In important meetings, observe how true leaders discreetly check a mechanical watch, while subordinates are constantly distracted by their digital devices. The choice of a traditional mechanical watch is not just about style. It is a declaration of values, and that declaration will be noticed by people whose opinions really matter. A Wall Street investment banker confided in me, "When I see a potential client wearing a quality mechanical watch, I automatically know that he understands the value of patience and long-term investments." When you master the classics, you control the narrative about who you are. And speaking of powerful narratives, our next item transcends modern digital communication in surprising ways. 3. Handwritten correspondence. In the world of emails and instant messages, where anyone can send hundreds of words effortlessly, the traditional handwritten letter re-emerges as a powerful tool of distinction. When the Microsoft CEO received a handwritten letter from an important investor, he commented that that correspondence received more attention than thousands of emails in his inbox. Why? Because it was rare, tangible, and demonstrated an investment of time that few are willing to make. Think about this. How many emails do you receive per day? Dozens, perhaps hundreds. Now, how many handwritten letters have you received in the last year? You can probably count them on the fingers of one hand. It is precisely this rarity that gives traditional correspondence its extraordinary power. The traditional handwritten letter demands precision. There is no undo button or automatic corrector. Each word must be considered before being written, forcing a clarity of thought that is increasingly rare. This level of consideration communicates respect for the recipient in a way that no digital message can. Neuroscience confirms that we receive handwritten information differently. Studies demonstrate that handwritten messages activate parts of the brain associated with emotional connection and long-term memory. Your letter will not just be read, it will be felt and remembered. Successful executives keep high-quality cards and premium pens on their desks for a reason. They know that a handwritten note after an important meeting will be remembered long after all the thank you emails have been forgotten. A real estate businessman told me that he closed a $15 million deal because he sent a handwritten letter to the seller while his competitors sent emails. The seller commented, "If he dedicates this care to a simple letter, I can imagine the care he will have with my property." With the texture of premium paper, the weight of a quality pen in your hand, the individuality of your handwriting, all these elements work together to create a complete sensory experience that no digital communication can offer. The power of a handwritten letter is so significant that many executive leadership courses now include sessions on traditional correspondence as a strategic tool. This is not nostalgia, it is elegant pragmatism. A man who masters the art of traditional correspondence demonstrates patience, attention to detail, and respect for the time of others. These are qualities that open doors closed to most. Your email competes with hundreds of others in the inbox. Your handwritten letter reigns supreme on the desk of those who matter. The choice seems obvious for men who understand the power of exclusivity. And while we are talking about tangible experiences that surpass their modern counterparts, our next item transforms a daily necessity into a ritual of excellence. 4. Traditional shaving. The fourth item on our list is the traditional shaving ritual with a straight razor or classic safety razor. The modern industry has tried to convince us that we need 5, 6, or even 8 blades in a disposable plastic device. But any man who has returned to the traditional method knows the truth. A single sharp blade surpasses any multi-blade system. What do professional barbers use when you pay for a premium service? A single blade, the traditional straight razor. There is a reason for this. The precision, control, and results are incomparable. Think about the last time you entered a traditional barbershop. The smell of shaving soap, the sound of the razor being sharpened on the leather strop, the refreshing sensation of foam applied with a badger brush. All of this is part of an experience that men have valued for centuries. It is not just about hair removal. It is about a moment of absolute focus. Traditional shaving is not just about the result, it is about the process. The quality badger brush, the freshly made foam, the sensation of the perfectly sharpened blade, all of this transforms a daily task into a ritual of personal refinement. A renowned surgeon told me that he started using a traditional straight razor because the precision required by this method helped him maintain the concentration necessary for his delicate operations. 15 minutes of absolute focus in the morning set the standard for my entire day, he commented. Studies demonstrate that structured morning rituals are directly linked to professional success. CEOs and business leaders frequently cite their morning routines as fundamental to their performance. Traditional shaving offers exactly this. A moment of focus and precision that sets the tone for the day. The difference between a beard shaved with multi-blades and one shaved with a traditional razor is visible. The first cuts the hair below the skin surface, causing ingrown hairs and irritation. The second cuts precisely at the surface, resulting in a cleaner appearance and healthier skin. It is the difference between surgical precision and brute force. Men who master traditional shaving report not only a cleaner beard and healthier skin, but also a sense of control and discipline that extends to other areas of life. This is why high-performance executives are abandoning modern devices and returning to classical methods. Additionally, economically, the initial investment in traditional shaving equipment is quickly offset by the savings in disposable cartridges that cost fortunes over time. Intelligent men understand that true value is not about the initial price, but about quality and durability. A good traditional shaving kit can last for decades. The difference between a man who shaves with a traditional system and one who uses disposable cartridges is subtle but perceptible. It is the difference between someone who accepts the standard and someone who seeks excellence in every detail. And in a competitive world, it is the details that often determine who advances and who stays behind. And speaking of standards of excellence, our last item represents the perfect fusion between structured thinking and tangible expression. 5. The traditional leather notebook. In an era of note-taking applications and cloud documents, the traditional leather notebook remains unsurpassed for capturing ideas, planning strategies, and demonstrating commitment to structured thinking. When Mark Zuckerberg was seen in an important meeting holding a leather notebook instead of a tablet, analysts immediately noticed. The message was clear. Some ideas are too valuable to be entrusted only to digital. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in the world, keeps traditional notebooks where he records his reflections and decisions. When asked why he does not use digital methods, he responded, "My thoughts deserve something that lasts longer than a battery." Neuroscience studies demonstrate that handwriting on tangible surfaces activates parts of the brain linked to creativity and memory retention in ways that typing simply cannot. Successful businessmen know this instinctively. A high-quality Italian leather traditional notebook establishes a physical connection with your ideas. It transforms thoughts into tangible objects that can be revisited, refined, and expanded. It is not a coincidence that the greatest thinkers in history, from Leonardo da Vinci to Albert Einstein, kept physical notebooks to record their reflections. The traditional notebook does not crash, does not need a battery, does not distract you with notifications. It offers what modern technologies cannot: pure focus and total concentration. In a world of fragmented attention, this is a superpower. A multinational executive director told me that every major decision of the company is first recorded in his leather notebook before being digitally implemented. Our most valuable ideas deserve the respect of being handwritten, he explained. The feeling of premium leather, the sound of the pen gliding over the paper, the physical weight of your ideas, all of this creates a connection with your thoughts that no screen can replicate. This is why strategic planners, visionary architects, and great thinkers carry traditional notebooks. Additionally, there is something deeply respectable about a man who pulls out a high-quality leather notebook during a meeting instead of yet another laptop or tablet. It is a silent declaration about valuing substance above trends. Tom Ford, one of the most influential figures in contemporary menswear, is known for exclusively using leather notebooks to record his design ideas. He understands that the physical connection with his creations is essential to the creative process. Exceptional men understand that certain classic tools remain superior not out of nostalgia, but because of incomparable functionality. The traditional notebook is one of those tools. It is a symbol of deliberate thought in a world of impulsive reactions. These 5 classics, the traditional custom-made suit, the mechanical watch, handwritten correspondence, traditional shaving, and the leather notebook, are not just aesthetic preferences. They are strategic tools that send clear signals about who you are and what you value. Men who master these classics stand out naturally. They do not need to shout to be noticed because their presence speaks for itself. They understand that in a world obsessed with the new, there is a singular power in mastering what is timeless. True distinction does not come from following trends. It comes from understanding fundamental principles that remain constant across generations. In an ocean of mediocrity, classic excellence stands out like a beacon. Think about the most influential men in modern history. All of them, regardless of their areas of activity, understood the power of classic elements. They knew that certain things do not need to be updated because they have already achieved perfection in their original form. Novelty is fleeting, class is eternal, and true elegance never ages. If you want to transform your appearance into true power and influence, start by mastering these classics in their traditional forms. The difference will not just be visual, it will be fundamental. The doors that will open, the opportunities that will arise, and the respect you will command will be concrete evidence of the power of these strategic choices. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about how to transform elegance into power, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and leave your like. Each week, we bring precise strategies for men who do not accept mediocrity. Comment below classics win if this video resonated with you. Your journey to true distinction is just beginning, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. I am Daniel, and we do not just teach style, we teach influence. Fashion is not luxury, it is power.